What's up everybody, Blockus here, and today I want to show you my new concrete generator. And this was not my idea, this was suggested to me by Cameron Berg. And I thought, how hard can a concrete generator be? Guess what? It was pretty hard and it took me several hours, but it was really fun to build. So here it is, let me show you how it works. So right up here, I have 3 separate cobblestone generators, which I built separately so that you can choose to expand them if you'd like to. The cobblestone then goes down and gets processed in different ways for each one of these. For this first one, we're taking the cobblestone and crushing it into gravel and then into sand and then into bone meal. And then the bone meal goes into that mechanical crafter over there, which will turn it into white dye. And then in the second set right here, we have the cobblestone turning into gravel and then turning into sand and then going into the system. Then right here, we just turn the cobblestone into gravel. And if you'll notice, I have each one of these running at a different speed. I have this one running the fastest, this one running slower, and this one running even slower, because obviously we're getting a lot more yield from this than from this than from this, so I wanted to balance them out a little bit more. And to be honest, the machine is still not bottleneck free. We still get a lot more gravel and sand than white dye, but it's still pretty good and I haven't seen it clog up yet. Okay, so each one of these items goes and sits in this chest right here, or in the lower chest. So this one is where the gravel is sitting, and under it we have a smart chute that only accepts 4 at a time and is locked. We have the same thing here under the sand, and then we have one that's only accepting 1 under the white dye. And the reason behind all this is the recipe for crafting white concrete powder, which is exactly 4 sand, 4 gravel, and then 1 white dye. And we're actually using this method, which is the automated shapeless crafting. At this stage, we're starting to run into another challenge. If I had not locked these smart chutes and I have everything just running directly into the basin, it may produce a couple of pieces of concrete and then eventually it's gonna get clogged up. It will probably end up with too much sand or too much gravel and not enough of the other things and not enough space to accept anything else. So I created this little redstone contraption here. Basically there's a comparator sticking out of the basin, and whenever it only turns off whenever the item gets fully mixed. So whenever that happens, it's going to turn off and we're going to turn on this torch, which will send a pulse to all of these guys, which will turn off the torches and accept the next batch of the craftable items. And this way we keep the ratio always perfectly synchronized so that we never lose anything. And if you ever find the system clogged because, for example, it happens every now and then, especially when we're messing with it or changing stuff or just starting it up like I just did now, you just right click the basin right here and the ratio will get corrected. Another reason this happens sometimes is that you run out of white dye, there's not enough time, so sometimes you might just want to let it collect a little bit more or supplement it just at the beginning to offset the difference. But this is actually pretty good for AFKing and it doesn't actually clog up all that much. So now that we've gotten everything to the mixer, and we've gotten the mixer knowing exactly when to mix, the white concrete powder will get released on this depot and then it will get washed into white concrete and go directly into this chest. Isn't that pretty cool? I mean, honestly, it was extremely difficult to line everything and all of these up. It was actually a little more difficult than the Programmable workshop, which I really did not expect it to be this way. And as you can see here, we can actually produce concrete of all colors. And the way to do that is by placing any type of dye right here. And what's going to happen is they're going to go through this chute all the way up here and then into this chest. And then what this chest is going to do is going to signal this content observer to lock the chute that will accept the bone meal from the system. And then we also have this orange redstone link. I know it's here somewhere. There you are. I knew it was here, I just wasn't sure where I left it. So this one is gonna tell this funnel or this smart chute right here to lock and not accept any white dye. And now that I'm describing it to you, I'm realizing that this thing is doing the same work as this line of redstone here, I think. But I'm not gonna commit to anything. I'm not gonna break it right now because everything is working, but I'll test it, and if it's not necessary, I'll remove it in the future. Anyway, as you can see, we're already getting our red concrete produced. So it simply just replaces it. And one more thing that it does with this orange concrete thing is that it actually turns off cobblestone generation, for the white die generator, and this prevents backlogs. It's never good to have a cobblestone generator running unwatched, and it'll eventually start creating entities that break down the world. So with that, as you can see, we're getting all the red concrete created. And if I take out the rest of the red dye, or it runs out naturally, what's going to happen is that the system is going to switch back to white dye immediately and is going to activate the cobblestone generator up here. It looks like it already did, so if we go down there, it should be mixing us a piece of white concrete powder. So everything is running perfectly. Now I'm kind of getting in this new habit of creating some backup switches to make sure that we don't lag, or if there's any issue or a new update coming up, that there is, I have the ability to turn the machine off. Right here, I have this button or lever which turns off the cobblestone generation, and like I said, that's always a good option to have. And I like having this because if I turn this on, if I'm worried something has a backlog or anything like that, then the machine can run through everything and clean itself up. So that's an option there. And then this lever right here turns everything off. And now I believe that this was everything I needed to tell you about this machine. I want to hear what you think about it and whether you would need a concrete generator. The schematic is going to be in the description below, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing because I put out videos like this all the time with machines that are sometimes useful and sometimes just crazy for no reason.